Hey YouTube, this is Southern Purple One. Bringing some more intel firsthand. And this gentleman is actually someone I've met before. And we have a mutual friend. So very trusted source, very trusted. Let me tell you what he does. He's in the mortgage business, that's all I'll say. And he's been doing it for over 25 years. So he knows the business. He went through some of the problems during the 2008 financial problems. So he is an expert in the field on mortgages. And he says it feels like an eerie feeling, it just like it did when the 2008 correction came across. But he's saying it's for different reasons. The rate hike is definitely affecting it. It could be more psychological. But he says the real problem is definitely the lack of inventory is the primary reason. There's just not enough houses out there. A lot of problems, and in his area is out-of-state retirees cashing out, coming down here with a lot of cash, and they're just paying cash for houses. So also you have a lot of people that are fed up with politics in their state, and I've noticed that around here the majority of moving down here are more right leaning, more small government, but there are some people that, you know, they messed up their house up north and they think they can come down here and mess up our house, and they're bringing with them some very liberal politics. And then they're also complaining, I've noticed, lack of services out in the country. You know, why don't we have this? Why is this, you know, not open all the time? It's like because we want it that way. We want small government. So that's one of my fears is people coming into my area that want to change things. I don't want to change anything. It's been working great here, and we want to be left alone. We don't want big government at all. He also said that hedge fund managers are coming in buying entire new construction subdivisions, and then they're turning them into rentals. So that's definitely a huge problem. A lot of money is being taken out of the stock market and pumped into buying physical assets, and that would be properties. And I'm hearing this problem all over the United States. I mean, it is numerous people telling me that, which is bad, because it is proven that people that rent do not have the attachment to their community as someone that owns the property. I've seen people that own property usually take care of it better, in the sense of, you know, they know it's their biggest investment they will have in life. So when you have a neighborhood of renters, you have a high turnover rate. It's proven. It turns over. It's harder to know your neighbor. It's harder to keep a neighborhood stable. And you can have a lot more crime. And it's just not me saying it, is statistically. So that is a problem of stability. And when they buy whole neighborhoods, it's not leaning to a good environment. Home prices in Greenville, South Carolina, where he was working, and then surrounding areas have outpriced incomes, and they just exploded. And I've heard this from everyone. They can't buy a house because they're way too expensive. He says $275,000 to $300,000 now is an entry-level house. So if you're only making $40,000, there's not a chance in the world that you can even come close to buying a house. He says that all the signs of a recession or depression are out here, but people don't want to believe it. And that's a quote from him. All the signs of a recession or a depression are here, but people don't want to believe it. So he's seeing it firsthand. The average American spends $1,326 on rent. The average asking rent now is going for $1,900. And I'm getting a lot of people saying that their landlords have increased their rent 20, 30, 40%, which is unbelievable. If you're barely making it now and you get hit with 20, 30, 40% increase in rent, that's hundreds and hundreds of dollars that you have to come up with. Some people say they just going to have to pay it because there's absolutely nothing else to get. A single family house for rent on the average in the US is $2,018. $2,018. That's a lot of money to basically be thrown away every month. A typical apartment is $1,659. So, this mortgage expert that works in the field saying things aren't right, things are not looking good. When his business is off 70%, 70%. So it's going to affect mortgage companies. I've got a couple reports that people that work for mortgage companies, work for banks in the loan department are already being laid off. So it's only going to get worse. I'm trying to keep this short. So having a place to live is important. That's why there has been an influx of homelessness. There's been an influx of people living in their vehicle. There's been an influx of people buying RVs and just parking them anywhere they can. Because you cannot, California especially, in bigger cities, you can't afford to live there. So, living in a camper somewhere might be better than being homeless. And if you bought an acre of land and put a camper on it and called it yours, I think that would be better than a lot of things. I think I'd rather do that than pay rent. I'd rather live in a shed and convert it into a tiny home than have to pay $1,600, $1,700, $1,800. And there's areas of the country that the rent is unbelievable. That price of $1,659 for the average apartment is for the average. When you get into a big city, it's unbelievable. I'm also hearing that people are saying that there's not enough rentals, that there's no way they could even find something close to their work. So it's a vicious cycle we're in. But I do want to encourage you to keep prepping. And those that say, Dave, man, I live in this little apartment. You got to be creative with your storage. I understand that. You got to store it under the bed. You got to, store it on the end of the couch and then put a nice, pretty curtain or something over it. Make it look like an end table. Stack some number 10 cans up. You're going to have to just do what you got to do. Don't be discouraged and say, oh, I can't prep. You're going to have to. Maybe you can use a storage locker close by, but they're always, most of them are expensive if they're climate controlled, and you're going to have one if you're going to store food in it. You also the risk of having someone break into it. And then just the additional cost, $100 a month, $120 a month. If you're in a big city, I bet you a lot more than that. So just do your best. Other people are suffering. You're not the only one out there suffering. I don't have any easy answer for you. As this progresses and things become more expensive across the board in every aspect, from food, electric, gas, medical care, it's just going to make it harder and harder. So look for a side job. And I know some of you already have the side job, and I know some of you are working as much as you can. And as this progresses, more and more people getting laid off, it's going to create more and more of a vicious circle. So this mortgage guy knows what he's talking about. Troubling times are here. Thanks for watching.